Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and I've got another Gizmo Sunday here. And today I've got Spitfire Audio's Air Studios Reverb Essentials, a crazy convolution reverb plugin that models the Air Lindhurst hall that so much of Spitfire's stuff is recorded at. Not just Spitfire's sample libraries, but also countless cinematic movie masterpieces have been recorded there. It's a unique convolution reverb. Let's take a look at it today. Well, a great hall makes a huge difference to the sound of an orchestra, a symphony. Even small ensembles can become majestic, epic, with the right kind of reverb. Listen to this a tiny brass ensemble. And this is a completely dry samples. And we're going to put it in the Bernard Herrmann preset. Bernard Herrmann, the great film composer, notably with Hitchcock. Listen to the effect. Here it is dry. What a beautiful convolution reverb. Of course, convolution reverbs work by taking measurements of the hall using accurate microphones and capturing samples, snapshots, so to speak, of the sound of the room at a bunch of specific locations. And the Air Lindhurst Studio is a majestic space. It's one of those magic spaces because you never really know what's going to happen until you get into a room and you start making it work. It's got a high ceiling with a variety of different kinds of damping materials, canopy materials. And what we've got here is microphone setups. And you can see here a basic sort of tree setup, these two mics here. And I can actually move that around. And then, and it's going to recompute. And then additionally, secondary microphones, which can be turned off or on. Now, the way this particular Essentials plugin works, and it is a kind of a scaled down version of the full Air Studios reverb, is that you just have basically patches. I can't click over here and change the damping. But if I'd like, I could try a different hall. And when I choose a different hall, the damping comes in, the canopy height drops, etc. And you can see a different set of microphones are active, and this might sound really different. We'll see what I mean. Now that might be preferable for some material, right? A quicker slapback, a much more intimate sound. You noticed I had the mix set to 100%. I'm hearing the sound of the room a lot there, and I have on my reverb return, and this is just on a send, on my reverb return, I have it set very high. It's as loud as the rest of the instruments. Well, this is a terrific opportunity for us to get the great sound of a fantastic room. And what that means is, because I very often work with solo instruments and sort of smaller defined ensembles, I can get a big majestic sound out of these tight ensembles. I think almost every big cinematic sample library that you're going to be playing around with, like I use the BBC Symphony Orchestra, the Pro version from Spitfire, has a bunch of air kind of already built into it. But when you've got a really dry sample, but you want a big room, a cinematic room, an epic room, it's hard to do with just like regular old reverbs. I've had my eye on something like this for a while, but this is a very reasonably priced entrance to this kind of concept. Multiple microphone positions, multiple convolutions, all creating the sound of a room that has quite a bit of control for us. Easy control, I'll just put it that way, where you can choose an instrument type and then placement. In fact, let's talk a little bit about placement. So I've called up a different sound now. This is a chorus, and you can hear a very long reverb time at 4 seconds. And that reverb time makes a huge difference to the sound. By grabbing the decatree and pushing it even further back, I think it was a decatree. I don't know what kind of tree it is, some kind of tree. Even further back, I'm going to shorten the reverb time because I'm back on the wall. And listen to this change. And yet the vocal sounds further away, doesn't it? This is an insert. I've got this reverb set at 100% right on the channel itself. The same sound with no reverb. And then with the reverb in, it's a huge difference. Right? I think it's that kind of thing is just worth the price of admission. Well, what would it be like with, say, some strings? That's about a 3-second reverb time, and it really makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Well, we've got some solo instrument sounds here. For instance, we're going to switch over to high strings, and we'll say a distant violin sound. We'll load this set of things, and look at what happens to the mic setup. You can see my tree is way over here now to the side, so I hope you're listening to this in headphones because the spatial stuff is crazy. Let's try the same thing with brass. So let's choose brass, and trumpet solo. And you can see my tree mic is way over there. Let's bring it closer. Let's push it further away and over in the corner. Nice reverb time. Well, I'm curious what it'll sound like on piano, so let's try that. Try this acoustic guitar setup, with a piano. That's a nice tight sound, very intimate, a low canopy, woody materials, and the damping is in. That makes a lot of sense, and this is a 2.4 reverb time. Now I'm going to have to change the percentage because I'm using this as an insert. That's nice. A big ranging instrument like the piano, really hard to drop into a reverb, especially a reverb just on an insert. This convolution reverb is very effective for me. I love the sense of being in a big hall and being able to control a number of things like canopy height, material, damping, positions of microphones. We haven't even talked about it, but we've got down here sync controls for your tempo, DAW tempo, and also things like pre-delay. You can stretch the convolution sample and stretch the tail for effects that could be useful. Simple things like going into stereo and increasing the width is going to give me a very different piano sound as well. A little less intimate, but listen to what happens. This would be I think, really suitable for creating the experience of being in a space with the piano. Yeah, really strong sense of space. And of course, the sense of space tells a story in a reverb. I have so many reverbs. Do you need another one? Well, for me, the ability to take a small sound and get it into an epic environment, an acoustic environment like this, is very appealing. And I don't actually need all the bells and whistles that the full Air Studios reverb gives me. Still, this is a 9 gigabyte download. All of these convolution samples, all of these impulse responses that go into making this like very flexible environment. It takes up some space on your drive, although I have to say it's not eating a lot of CPU, so I'm pretty happy about that. Well, this is a terrific offering, a great first plugin, effect plugin from Spitfire. It's going into my template, no question about it. I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe and ding the bell to be notified when I do my videos, and I'll see you next time.